We need to be structured. We need to sit down and go, this is the time I have available. So we need to be intentional about how we do things so that our money can flow, because we've set our boundaries, we've got our intentions in place. We are less fear driven and more motivation driven, more accountability driven. We are really thinking about, this is my price. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm delivering it. And these are the people I'm delivering it to.
Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the weekly episodes. And if you want to connect with me, always check the show notes, because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments and, of course, to join the Academy, the membership group where there's constant connection and community with like-minded practitioners. Now, let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How the devil are you? How is it going? So it's March. We have Mad March in South Australia, where we have the festival going on. We have all sorts of stuff going on, and it's really hot. But it does mean that April is really nice. And then suddenly we're in winter again. I just suddenly thought that. I was like, oh, it's so hot at the moment. How am I going to, I've got the aircon on. I got fans blowing. And then I'm like, oh, it really won't be long now that we're heading to the end of March. I'll be back in winter. Where did the month go? Anyway, I'm sure you're actually feeling a little bit the same. Now, so what have we spoken about in March so far? We've talked about thinking about how much we're going to charge our clients, how we're going to charge our clients, how that works for us, how we feel about money in relation to our clients and what we're charging. We've talked about stability. Last time we talked about creating packages. Is that within your skill set? Are you able to do that? Do you need help? Give me a call. Join the Monday group. Have a one-to-one with me. Do all the things. But now at the end of the month, I'm beginning to feel, because March in South Australia is a big month, February, March, big months here. And we're suddenly at the close of the festivals. We're at the close of everything that's happening here. And it makes me think about the fact that we have to make these calm money decisions. All the people who had jobs in the festival, their jobs are finishing. Everybody's changing, everybody's going home. All these people will have to go back to the countries they came from. They were here for Wome Adelaide and all of the things that happen. Everything towards the end of March in South Australia gets a little bit emotional, really. It's been quite intense here. So it made me think about the fact we've got to replace our reactive money thinking with grounded choices. And sometimes we have to actually physically ground ourselves. I was in a meeting a few weeks back, and some guy sitting next to me is a massage therapist, and he had his hand on the table, he was pressing in, he had his pulse points, and he was grounding himself in the meeting. And we need to ground ourselves, those bare feet out in the grass. My grass is non-existent. It's pretty much brown patches right now. It's not been any rain or not enough rain, and I don't want to spend all that water money watering grass. So it's kind of just brown patchy stuff. So for me to go out and ground myself in beautiful, long, lush grass and beautiful, like I would have in New Zealand, I've got to think of other ways to do it. And because we need to be grounded in our choices. And money makes us feel emotional. Money can bring out the worst in people. It never brings out the best in people. It always just brings out the worst in people, doesn't it? It makes people rush their decisions. It gives bad business choices. It can give bad life choices. All right. So my husband and I are pretty opposite. He's very good, very good with his money, and that he never wants to spend it. He hangs on to it. Whereas I'm like, oh, money fountain. Not quite, but I'm just trying to to explain how opposite we are when it comes to some things. We go to the supermarket, for example, and if I go to the supermarket, I just snatch the bags out of the boot of the car, right? And they're all stuffed in there. I don't think about it. He opens the boot and he will take out 2 bags. That's all the shopping we need. I mean, what if we need something else? What if there's something we've forgotten and we need an extra bag? So there's no rushed decisions with him. Whereas with me, there can be rushed decisions. I go, oh, that course looks amazing. I'm going to do that course. And then I do the course and it's not so great. Or I never use it. I've done a lot of courses that I've never used whatever it is that I learned. Or I got halfway through and I thought, it just is not for me. Kinesiology being one. So I went to a really good kinesiology course, right? It was a really good course. It was in the hills here in Adelaide a very long time ago. Very, very long time ago, 25 years ago probably. And I went, because I qualified, maybe I was still a student. I think I was a student because I got student pricing. And it just did not click for me. That was just something I could not do. I still do muscle testing. I can do muscle testing, but kinesiology, I just could not get that to click. So rush decisions are there. Bad business choices are there. So what is the difference between that rush and people going, you got buy now, and you go and do it? It's calm. The opposite of all of that is the calm, isn't it? And calm money decisions, they're slower and they're more intentional and they're less fear driven. So if we've got packages for our clients, we've reduced their fear factor because they know that X, Y, and Z is going to happen over ABC length of time and it's going to go in a 1, 2, 3 system. Okay. So it's more intentional for them to purchase from us and we are delivering in a more intentional way with less fear as part of that whole concept around money. So when we want to make these financial changes, this confidence change, when we want to change our mindset and flip our mindset from worry and the little guy on your shoulder going, oh, they can afford you. Whereas in actual fact, people can't afford you. It's, do they want you? Do they need you? Are you selling yourself in a way that they are going to go, yeah, I need this person. I need this change. We have accountability in money growth. And how are we going to work out that accountability for ourselves and for our business? Okay, so it might be that you've decided consciously, unintentionally, sorry, hopefully that sounded like intentionally, not unintentionally, but you've made a conscious and intentional decision. This is a hobby business for you, right? You're only going to see maybe 2, 3 clients a week. You're just going to keep your hand in and that's fine. So it doesn't really matter how much you earn, but then you discover, because it doesn't really matter how much you earn, it's only a hobby business, you don't really care. People aren't following through. People aren't doing what you've discussed and what they've agreed to. It's just not happening. They're not coming back because you haven't put the intention out there that it's a hobby business. But rather than saying to yourself, this is a hobby business, you say to yourself, I want 4 clients per week. You specify the number. That number therefore pay you for the amount of time they are seeing you and they will return because they are part of that exclusive group of people that see you, okay? Rather than making it sound like a plaything or a toy, something to be thrown away, you're saying, this is my skill set. I just don't have time to see more than 3 or 4 clients a week. And so those 3 or 4 clients a week are getting my exclusive support, okay? And creating that space and that value change in your language does lead to better pricing, better offers, and better boundaries. And last week's one was a good one because we really talked about the fact if you create that package, then your boundaries are set because they learn what your boundaries are through the package as well. But we need to change our attitude around what we do. If you can only physically see 3 or 4 people a week, and that's all I could see when I had toddlers, when I had little wee kids, because I had to have a babysitter, look after them, or I could see 1 client when, my child was at kindy, because I only got 4 hours, 3 hours or something, and it was at kindy. And so then I'd have a nanny figure. I'm trying to do everything. We need to be structured. We need to sit down and go, this is the time I have available. These are the people out there who can support me. Maybe, there's a grandparent who's handy and you say, can you come one day per week for 5 hours and take little Johnny to the park for me so that I can work, right? Everything will be done. Everything's waiting for you, which means you have to work double time for little Johnny to go off with the grandparents or whatever it is, but they're there for you. And they actually probably need that structure as well to know that every Thursday or Wednesday they have little Johnny for the day. They will turn up on time. They know you've got clients. They know you're working, and they will feed little Johnny, and they will have the best time ever because they know they can hand little Johnny back at 5:30 or whatever when they head home. So we need to be intentional about how we do things so that our money can flow because we've set our boundaries. We've got our intentions in place. We are less fear-driven and more motivation-driven, more accountability-driven. We are really thinking about, this is my price. This is how I'm going to do it. This is how I'm delivering it. And these are the people I'm delivering it to. That's what I'm doing for them. For me, what am I doing for me? I have arranged that little Johnny is in childcare, this is this time, or little Johnny's at school, this is this time. So I have these hours that I have set in my diary. I've got my boundaries set. This is what's going to happen. I did a late night Monday because my husband could pick up the children from school on a Monday. That meant I started at 2:00 on a Monday afternoon and I worked through till 8 at night. And I was always solidly booked. Then I did a Thursday late night, and guess what? It too became solidly booked all of the time. The other ones, the little one here and the scattered appointment there, they'd be scattered. Those ones fully booked the whole time because I had the intention, I had the support. Everybody knew when I did the Thursday, the kids could latch key themselves. They could do it all themselves. They were old enough. But the Monday was when they were little. They were being picked up from kindy, they were being picked up from school, and they were being picked up from school. So I had that support system. Dinner was being cooked for them. And I'll tell you a secret, because if I didn't have a client later on in the evening, I would never, ever, 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 I don't know how many evers I can add in there, but lots of evers, leave my office at like 6:00 and go out and join them, because that was the time that my husband, the children's father, had that exclusive time with his children without me interrupting, without me going, oh, you don't stir dinner clockwise, you stir it anti-clockwise, or whatever. I live on those bossy britches because I was doing everything all the time. But he had that half day Monday. That was his time with the children. I never, ever interrupted that. So if I didn't have a last client, or the last client cancelled, or things have gone really quickly and really well, I still never left my office until 8:00 when I would go and kiss the children goodnight, when he'd read their stories, when he'd played with them, when he'd done his stuff with them. So they had that exclusive time with him. And it might be that exclusive time is actually with your grandparents, because your partner's there all the time. Your partner's doing whatever the partner, and they're more interactive than my children's father could be because he was working 70 hours a week. We have to think about this really intentionally. And I hope March has helped you to be really intentional about your income stream, about being intentional around your income, around accountability to your money growth and how you're going to do it. That space of the better pricing, the offers, the boundaries. What is it going to be? If I wasn't doing any social media, but what I could have been doing back then on a Monday, if I didn't have a client, I could have sat down and done my social media or whatever it was. Okay. So March is about your intentional financial situation. How can you be really intentional and make sure it's working for you in the way you want it to work? So, what would you change to avoid making panic money decisions? What would you change to make your life look more intentional monetarily? What would you change to make sure you had that regular space, that regular time, and that regular support so that you can create what you need to create for you and your clients to succeed? It is a mutual benefit thing, right? They need to succeed for them to tell their friends to come and see you, and you need to succeed so that they succeed so that they can tell their friends to come and see you. And I give free appointments to clients who refer clients, because by the time they refer you to somebody else, they're already well. You know them. Like, it's a no-brainer. You can see them for half an hour and there's nothing new has happened. And you chitter away and you send them off for their new prescription or whatever, and they've given you somebody who's right at the beginning of their journey. You've been referred. It's brilliant. I'm not losing money by giving away a free appointment to somebody who's given me a client. I'm making money. So mindset around this financial confidence, around structure in your diary, around structure of charging and making sure people come back. Okay. So you can have one-to-one with me. There's the focus call. You can get in there and have a focus call with me. Quick 15 minutes. I can cram a lot to 15 minutes. You're getting a lot from these podcasts, aren't you? And they're short. So when it's really specific to you, trust me, you get a lot out of it. And don't forget, we've got the Monday group. So if you want to join the Monday group, let me know. You can give it a try. It's the first and third Monday of every month. It's lunchtime, South Australia time. And you get to ask your questions. You get time to listen to everybody else. You learn so much from the other people in the group because of their clients and what their clients are doing, have done, what their problems are. So it's an incredible learning experience. If you're a student, you can come along as well and listen in and learn from that. So I'm going to leave it there. End of March. Can you believe it? I hope you have a brilliant rest of day. And I look forward to catching up with you on the next podcast. The usual thing, scroll down, give me 5 stars. That'd be lovely if you haven't already done so. Have a good one. And I look forward to catching up with you soon. See ya.
Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.